Hi, I'm Seher,
And I'm Shreya. Welcome to our show, Only Spoilers.
where I tell Shreya about a book that I've read or a movie that I've watched. In today's episode, I'm going to continue talking about A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Are you going to read it, Shreya?
Definitely not.
Then let me tell you all about it.
Okay, let's get into it.
Okay, so in the last episode, we left off when Feyre and Tamlin kiss at the top of the hill when the sun is rising on
Yeah.
summer solstice.
Their magical fairy kiss.
Their magical fairy kiss, yes. But before we proceed to the other half of the story, I have a few important plot points that I have to tell you.
Okay.
Okay. So in the beginning, when Feyre has just come to the spring court and like she's there, Tamlin and Lucian are forcing her to be friends with them and like just forget about the human land, come eat with us. Lucian is like, why would you rather go back to the human world than spend time with two handsome and beautiful fairy men? Like humans like you would die to get attention from us.
Yeah.
Right. And then she's like, and in her mind, she's like, oh, these are just, conceited and
They're
superficial.
fairy fuckboys.
Exactly. But then Tamlin is like, why? I mean, did you love someone back in the human land? And she's like, no. I mean, she's uncomfortable talking about it, right? She had Isaac, but she never loved him. They were just friends with benefits. It was just a release for both of them because they had difficult lives, but she never really loved anyone. And Tamlin is very curious to know, like, are you sure? You sure nobody else? There was nobody else? She's like, no. I mean, it's none of your business, but no. And then
Oh, wait, so she didn't tell him about?
she does tell him about Isaac, but she never loved him. So she tells him that I didn't love anyone. I don't love anyone. There's nobody else in my life.
Poor Isaac.
Yeah, exactly.
Sucks. Okay.
So, and then another thing is she later on finds out that the wolf that she kills, his name was Andras, and he wasn't actually a wolf. He was one of Tamlin's soldiers or like sentries, and Tamlin transformed him into a wolf and sent him over the wall. Like he was sent there for a purpose. And then Feyre ended up killing him. And then she's like, but why? Like she overhears this conversation and she wants to know, but they're like, this is none of your business. Like we can't tell you. And then the one of the crucial conversations or like moments where Feyre's heart melts towards Tamlin is like one night she is just roaming around the estate or the house, and Tamlin comes back from somewhere and he's injured and his hand is bleeding. And she runs to him and then helps him bandage his hand and stuff. And then he asks her like, how do you know how to, tend to wounds like this? And she's like, oh, because I'm always out in the forest hunting for my family. Like I had to learn how to bandage my injuries because if I let it bleed or if didn't if she injured her ankle or her wrist and if she didn't splint it, my family would not eat the next day because I wouldn't be able to hunt. So she knows how to mend wounds, and he's so you know in awe of her that this little girl, like she's only 19 and he's like 500 years old, like this girl did so much for her ungrateful family and like didn't expect anything in return. And then she asks him like, if you are so powerful and you have so much power, won't you be able to heal your own hand? And he's like, before I had my full power, yes, I would have instantly healed my wounds. But now that my power is dying, my magic is dying, it takes a lot out of me if I have to heal my hand on my own. So he heals himself to a certain level that the bleeding stops, but like he still lets her bandage his hand. And then that's like a soft moment between them. And another night when also in the beginning when Feyre wants to befriend Lucian so that he convinces Tamlin to let her go. Like her in the beginning, her only goal is to go back to her family, right? Because she's learned that there's a disease here, something is happening to the magic, and it's eventually going to spill over to the wall and harm the human lands as well. And she wants to protect her family. So if she can go back and warn everybody else that we need to leave the continent, and something is happening, nobody else is going to protect us. But Lucian is like, I am not going to get in the middle of this. Whatever he says goes, because he's the high lord of this court and I follow him. I'm his emissary. I don't advise him or tell him what to do. I can he will listen to me to a certain point, but I can't make him do anything. That's how Feyre and Lucian become friends, and then that's why Lucian tells Feyre how to catch the surreal and get answers, because he can't tell her anything because he can't betray Tamlin, but he wants her to get off his back, so go find your own answers kind of thing. But then they become friends eventually. And Lucian is doesn't belong to the spring court. He's from the autumn court. And then Feyre's like, well, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, I left my family and I was friends with Tamlin, so I just live with him now. I'm his emissary to the other courts.
But wait, what's
Emissary as in he's the spokesperson, like he goes around and talks on Tamlin's behalf for rules and trades and things like that.
He left his family to do that for him? Why?
Yeah, because he has some beef with his family. So Lucian is the seventh brother of his family, and his father is very cruel. And he's never going to get the power. So how the power of High Lords gets transferred is how Tamlin got his power wasn't because he was the firstborn son. He had two older brothers, but whoever is the most powerful one, the power transferred to that person next. So when Tamlin's father died, the power didn't go to his two elder brothers, it went to him because he was the most powerful one. With Lucian's case, he has six older brothers, and he has no interest in being with them or getting the family power because he knows he's not the most powerful one. His elder brother is going to get it. And he fell in love with a lower fairy, like a person from a lower status, and then his brothers and father killed that woman in front of him.
Not the caste system.
Yeah, it's pretty bad in this world.
Oh my god.
So, and then Tamlin was the one who saved Lucian from that and killed two of his brothers in that conflict. So Lucian left his family. He's like, I don't want anything to do with you guys. So he lives with Tamlin now. And then a few nights before Calanmai, the night where Tamlin bites Feyre, a few nights before that, they are in the garden, and then Lucian and Tamlin they're hyper aware of somebody coming into the garden. They're like, Feyre, you have to hide. You can't let this person see you. And she's scared and she hides in the bushes. And then Lucian and Tamlin are talking to someone, but she can't see that person. She can only hear them because Tamlin glamours that person and he also glamours Feyre so that that person doesn't see that she is here. Because obviously she's a human, she's unprotected, right? Anybody who sees a human is here, she's a free game. So this person this person is also a creature. His name is Atter. He's also like a scary, bony structure with he has wings, and it's also like a kind that it's not just one person named Atter. Just like the surreal is a species of people, Atter is also like a species of people, but they're also very evil and very scary and things like that. But an Atter can fly. So the Atter comes and tells Tamlin your time is up, and Tamlin is like, yeah, I know how much time I have left. You have no business being here. I understand what's going on, so just leave me alone. I'll be there when I am ready. And then the Atter is like, oh, Amarantha is waiting for you. And then Feyre is like, who the hell is this Amarantha?
Yeah, Shreya's also like, who the hell is that? Who is that?
Yeah. And then Feyre, so when the Atter leaves, Feyre is like, what was all that about? And they're like, we can't tell you. This is none of your business. We can't talk about it. Again, with all the secrets and stuff. And she's like, this is so frustrating. I'm here. All of this is happening around me. Let me in. And they're like, we just can't talk about it. And then they just leave. That's it. End of conversation.
I hate that.
Yeah, I know it is frustrating. And then what happens? Okay. Now that we're all Okay, now that we're all caught up with what happened before the another thing. After they come back from the visit to the pond of starlight, um, that's when Tamlin gives Feyre the supplies for painting and stuff, like paints and canvases and
Yeah, I
everything.
remember.
Yeah. So she paints the day of the pond, like she paints the pond with the starlight and Tamlin in it. And then she paints a lot of things. Her life back in the human world, her broken down cottage, the forest that she used to hunt in, and a few things like close up portraits of her and Isaac's hands and like his eyes and all of these things, right? And then after the pond and everything, she realizes that um, Tamlin has been alone for so long that he didn't have anyone to take care of. That's why he doesn't want Feyre to leave, because she is vulnerable and he feels like he's protective of her. Like he feels good in taking care of her. And Feyre also finally decides that, okay, maybe I can be happy here because nobody else has ever taken care of her. But Tamlin wants to do that for her. So, it's like they're both starved of love and affection. And it's like they're both giving it to each other. And then when Feyre invites him to the gallery, like, oh, I want to gift you something. She made the Starlight Pond painting for him.
The pond painting?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
she paints the whole scene
Yeah.
from when they went. But instead of taking that, Tamlin sees the other paintings, her forest and the cottage and everything, and then he recognizes the forest. He's like, "Isn't this the forest that you used to hunt in?" She's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I want that one." And she's like, well, why? It's so sad and lonely and solitary. And he's like, no, it's because it makes me realize that I'm not the only one who's, going through it or like
Aww.
suffering in this lonely, cold world. You know what I am also going through because you went through it.
Damn.
And that's also like,
A shared connection.
shared connection. And her heart melts and she's like, he is a good guy. I mean, I can definitely see myself loving him.
Oh my god, that's so that's so sweet.
Yeah. So all of that. So coming back to the night.
That's like deep love.
They're both, you know, healing their wounds through each other. He's lonely. He has everything. He has so much money, the whole house. He doesn't have anybody to love.
Yeah.
And she didn't have anybody to love her.
Yeah.
She loved her family, but they didn't love her back or care for her.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, moving on.
Okay. So after the summer solstice, like they were out partying until like 6 a.m. or whenever the sun rises, right? So they all go to bed and then they wake up for lunch. So Tamlin, Lucian, and Feyre are having a lunch and they're just talking about how the party was and everything. And then suddenly Tamlin and Lucian are like on high alert. They're like, Feyre, you have to hide because somebody is coming. And Feyre is like, I don't know what's going on. So Lucian asks her to stand near the window and like she's like, stand behind me, and Tamlin glamours her so that nobody can see that she's there. It just looks like Lucian is looking out the window, right? And then a man comes strolling in, all clad in black hair, purple eyes. And then Feyre's like, oh my God, he's the man who saved my life. And then Tamlin is like, what are you doing here, Rhysand? And then Rhysand is like, oh, that's how you talk to me? Rhysand? I thought only my enemies and the people I torture and hate call me Rhysand. You used to call me Rhys. What happened to that? And Lucian is like, we don't have time for all of this. What do you want? And then Rhysand is like, oh, I am here to remind you that you're being expected under the mountain. Amarantha is waiting for you. And then Feyre is like, oh my God, who the hell is this Amarantha again?
This name again.
Yeah, who is she? And then Rhysand is like, your 49 years are over. She's waiting for you. You either come with me or she comes to get you. And then Tamlin is like, I still have a few days. You just need to leave. And then Rhysand is like, fine, whatever, but your time is over and all of that. Then he sees that there are 3 table settings on the lunch table. And then he's like, oh, you have company. Who is it? And then he realizes that Lucian is hiding somebody behind him, and Tamlin has glamored Feyre. And then he grabs her, and he's like, "Who are you?" And then one thing about Rhys, Rhysand is the High Lord of the Night Court.
Oh.
He is the most powerful High Lord.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and his superpower is like he can go into other people's minds, read all of their thoughts, control their minds, or he could even, break your mind. Like he could instantly kill you.
Oh.
He won't kill your body, but he can kill your mind.
Oh my God.
Or he could manipulate your brain.
Damn.
If you don't have your mind protected.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Feyre doesn't know anything like that. She's a human. Her mind is not protected, so he can instantly see everything in her head. And then he's like, "Oh, so this is your friend. I remember you from Calanmai. That's why you're here." And then Tamlin is like, "Let her go. Leave her. I will give you anything, not her." And then Rhysand is like, "Why? Why is she so special to you?" And then Tamlin is like, "Just leave, please leave Feyre alone."
I love her. I love her.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So, and then Rhysand is like, and then he asks Feyre, "What is your name?" And then Feyre lies. She's like, "Oh, my name is Claire Bedder." And then she's like, "Okay." And Rhysand is like, "Okay, fine, whatever." And then Tamlin is like, "Please don't tell Amarantha about her." And he's like, "I can't promise you anything because I'm Amarantha's whore. I service her in her bed, so I have to tell her everything." So
Whore?
yeah. He's
her whore?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He's a man whore, like literally?
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
God.
Rhysand. Yeah. So he's like, "Oh, I am obligated to tell her everything, but if you beg, maybe I won't." So he makes Tamlin and Lucian literally bend down on the floor
To beg?
to beg.
To the man whore?
Mm-hmm, to let Feyre go, or don't tell Amarantha about Feyre.
Oh my God.
So Rhysand is
What's
like,
his name? Rhysand or Rhys?
we can call him Rhys.
Rhys, you bitch.
Yeah. Feyre is like,
or should I say, you whore?
Yes.
Oh my God.
He's nasty. He's so cruel and evil, and he's just like, he's so nonchalant about it. He's just like, he has his hands in his pockets and like all casual about it. It's like, "Yeah, beg and I will let her go. Or maybe I'll think about it." Full of attitude. And then Tamlin is like sweating and angry, and he's trying to protect Feyre.
Poor baby.
Exactly. So finally Rhysand leaves.
Thank God.
Rhys leaves,
Leave,
and
bitch.
then Tamlin is like,
The door's there.
There's the door.
There's the door, bitch.
Yeah. So they're all worried. Lunch is over. Feyre goes to her room. And then that night, Tamlin comes to her, and then he's like, "You have to leave." And she's like, "What?"
What?
He's like, "Yeah, it's not safe for you here anymore."
That's breaking the rules, isn't it?
Exactly. And then Feyre is like, "What about the treaty?" And he's like, "I'll take your life debt. I'm gonna..."
What? He's gonna die instead of her?
And then she's like, but what about... He's like, "Whoever comes and asks, it's my problem. I take the responsibility. I am sending you back home." But she's like, "But for how long? A month? 6 months? A year?" He's like, "Forever." She's like, "What? I'm never gonna see you again?" And he's like, "No, it's not safe for you." And then they make love because she
Sexy
loves
time.
him.
Yeah.
He
Sorry.
loves
They
her.
made love.
They made love. Yeah.
They didn't have sex.
They had sex.
They made love.
They make love, and then he tries to leave her room, but she's like, "No, please stay. At least stay the night." And then she's like, "When do I have to leave?" He's like, "Tomorrow at dawn." She's like, "What?" And she's heartbroken. She's like, "No, I don't want to go home.
We just made love."
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna...
now you're telling me to dip, leave, and then you're gonna die? Like, this is too much.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then
she's like, "All of this because I killed some stupid wolf."
Exactly. First she wanted to go. Now that she wants to stay, he wants her to leave. She's like, "I can't win in this situation. What do I do?"
Yeah, seriously.
So he's like, "Okay, fine, I'll stay." And then he's cuddling her, and then she's falling asleep, but she hears him say, he thinks that she's asleep, but he says, "I love you,
Aww.
thorns and all."
A coat of thorns or roses. Yeah.
Because they both think that they're unlovable because they're so prickly and thorny and like
Oh,
broken, but he still loves her, broken pieces and everything.
a court. Oh, together of thorns and roses.
Yeah.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So the
poetic.
next day, Feyre is sent home in a
Bye.
in a golden carriage with horses and like everything. So she's dressed in really nice clothes and everything, and she goes home. And instead of going back to her broken down cottage, the carriage stops in front of a huge estate with like a garden and iron gates. It's like a rich person's house, and she's like, where am I? And she gets out of the cottage, and Elaine and Nesta are running out of the house, and she's flabbergasted. She's like, what, where did you guys get this much money, and like, what is this? And then she's so happy. Elaine is like, oh my god, you're back, we missed you, how are you, how is aunt? So Tamlin um, puts a glamour on Feyre's family, thinking that they had a distant aunt who calls Feyre to take care of her because she's dying, and whatever money she had is all under Feyre's name. That's why she's there. And then a few days after Feyre left, there's some merchant came to Feyre's dad, like, oh, I know your reputation. You used to be the prince of merchant. They used to be really rich, but they lost their money in bad investments, and because of and a lot of debt, that's how they became poor. And like his father couldn't make money anymore. The way Farah's dad lost all their money is because he made a risky investment by sending everything he owned on 3 ships to a country called Bharat. I mean, I read it. I'm like, are you serious?
Like our
Like India,
India?
like my country, Bharat. So yeah, so the ships never
My
reached.
people? Where did it go? Why have I not received it?
So apparently the way to Bharat is really risky, like very choppy water. So the ships never reached. So they lost all their money. That's how they became poor.
What was the investment for?
Just to make more trade and whatever. He was a
Oh.
merchant. I don't know, whatever merchants do. They trade stuff, get money
Okay.
and goods and all, right?
Fuck bitches get money. Just kidding. I'm sure he didn't. But anyways.
So after Feyre leaves to live with Tamlin, there's this person. So Elaine and Nesta are telling them everything, like how we got our money. So she's like, oh, there's this merchant who came to our dad. Is like, oh, I'll give you this much amount of money, invest it for me, and whatever profit you make, you keep half of it. And then his dad is like, oh yeah, sure, I can do it. And then he made a lot of money. But basically, it was Tamlin giving the money to Farah's family and saying like, oh yeah, your investment doubled, so here is the money. So they have this huge house, a bunch of servants, huge estate and everything.
Wow.
And then Elaine is like, oh, so is the aunt dead? Like, is that why you're back? And Farah is like, yeah, sure. She's dead. I'm so sad. I'm finally happy
R.I.P.
finally happy to be back. And Nesta is standing there listening to everything very skeptically. She's like, oh, okay, that sounds right. And they go back inside, and then Elaine is like, go meet father, and he's very happy. And then turns out Tamlin packed a whole trunk of like gold and jewels and uncut diamonds when he sent Feyre back. So he gives them more money so that they're all taken care of and everything. So Feyre is like, oh my god, he is, whatever obligation he felt that I had to take care of my family, he's doing it for me by giving me all of this money and everything. So she was like, okay, they don't remember the huge beast breaking into our cottage anymore. And like, they think that I just left on my own accord and all of that. Then they go back to, Farah tries to go back to living her life here now. She's like, oh, what is my purpose again? Now that I'm back here, I don't have to hunt for my family. What do I do?
Yeah.
So she's trying to work with her father, counting everything, that the money that Tamlin gave her. And she's like, okay, I also want to invest in something. And then her father's like, okay, I'll help you invest it. They are rich, so they also have like a season for balls and stuff, like in Bridgerton, where the eligible bachelors and bachelors meet each other. So Elaine Elaine had a lot of parties for herself because she's very pretty and like they want her to get married and stuff. Nesta doesn't want to get married. She's again still upset with her father. She doesn't like her family. So Elaine is like, oh, we're gonna throw you a welcome ball so that you can meet the eligible bachelors in our city as well. And then so Elaine is busy with her gardening, and Feyre helps her with it, like because she wants to spend time with her. And then she talks to Nesta, like, "How are you doing? What's going on?" And she's like, "I remember everything." And she's like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, whatever magic he tried to put on me, it didn't work. I remember everything. I remember the beast breaking into our cottage. I remember you being gone, and then all this merchants and stuff coming, like, oh, yeah, this is all investment. I see through all the bullshit. And I tried to go bring you back." So Nesta found the mercenary in the village, paid her money, and was like, "Can you take me to the wall? I want to go save my sister."
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so sweet.
Yeah.
I thought she was a bitch this whole time.
Exactly. And Feyre is also taken aback. She's like, "What? You did that for me?" She's like, "Yeah, I did." And then obviously she couldn't find the way across the wall. So she comes back and she's like, "It's so frustrating seeing these two pretend that nothing is wrong. I don't know why the magic didn't work on me, but I know what is going on." So Feyre tells Nesta everything about Tamlin, about whatever is happening across the wall. The magic is dying. It might cross the wall and hurt the humans as well. And then she tells her that if anything happens to me, please take Elaine and our dad and run away. Go to the continent. Leave this village because nobody is going to help us here. We are the first line of defense, or like the first people who are going to be harmed if the wall comes down and the other people decide to, rage war on us. So we are dead. So Nesta is like, fine. And then they throw this party for Feyre. Everybody from the village is here. They all pretend like nothing happened. This family for 8 years was gone. They were poor, but nobody helped them. Now they're back in the society. Everybody's like, "Oh, hi."
Wait,
how
but
are
these
you?"
people don't know that the magic was used on the family, or
No, nobody knows.
okay, they just came one day, saw the mansion, and
They're like, "Oh, so
accepted
you're
it?
rich again? Yeah, let's be friends."
Oh, they weren't even suspicious.
No, because
Interesting.
because Feyre's father is like, "Oh yeah,
This is an investment.
investment, and like I earned my money back again." Like they don't care. Very fickle society.
Interesting.
So during the party, Feyre overhears her dad talk to another merchant of somebody, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I was thinking of buying this land near the village." And she's like, "What land?" And they're like, "Oh, do you know what happened to the Bedder family?" And she's like, "Oh, what? What happened?" And then she's like, "Oh yeah, Claire and her whole family was burnt alive. Their house caught on fire, and something happened. They all died."
What?
Feyre is freaking out. Do you remember why? Because she told her name was Claire Bedore to resand. So,
Oh shit.
yeah. So the fairies actually came across the wall and killed Claire Bedore and her family.
Why?
Because Amarantha, whatever. Because Amarantha thought Tamlin loved this woman.
Oh my god. Does Amarantha like Tamlin? Is that
That will come later.
this bitch? Like, do you want him? And then you have a man whore, and then she's so confusing. Like,
yeah.
damn, she has the rage.
Mm-hmm. So Farah is freaking out. She's like, "Oh my god!" At least
Did Farah like Claire?
she just said a random name. Like she knew her in the when they were kids, but she knew that she had to protect herself, so she just said a random name. She never thought anything was going to come off of it, or like they're actually going to go kill this person.
Yeah.
So Farah is freaking out. She's like, "Oh my god!" And she feels guilty that because of her, a whole family is dead. So after the ball ends, she sits down her family, like Nesta, Elaine, and their father, and she tells them everything. And immediately, like she says a few things, and the glamour in their head it goes away. They remember everything, and then Nesta is like, "Leave, go save Tamlin. I've got this. If something happens, we'll run away."
Aw.
So
Good
she
for
sends
her.
Farah back.
Wow, the character development that happened after Farah left.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But
good for her.
But Nesta is still very tricky. Like Nesta So about Nesta is like, so Feyre will forgive everyone and not blame anyone, and she still loves everybody. But Nesta holds grudges. She still hates her father because she's like, he let us almost die, starve to death. But Farah is like, but you also spent every single copper that I gave you. She's like, yo, yeah, because I knew that you would earn more, get more. I just wanted to see how far he would let us reach the brink of death before he actually did something. So she was trying to test her father because he's like, oh, he only loves Elaine. I'm nothing to him because I remind him too much of my mom and all of that. So she's always hated his father. So she is willing to do all of this just to protect Elaine. Nesta only loves Elaine. That's it. She would die herself before let anything happen to Elaine. So she's like, I will do anything to protect Elaine. You go, Feyre. You deal with your fairy lands. I have got this. I'm protecting Elaine. Father
Elaine
Kuju,
is the oldest or
the middle
the
one.
middle one?
Nesta is
Okay.
the oldest, then Elaine, and then Feyre.
Okay,
Feyre is the
okay.
youngest one.
Okay, okay.
So Feyre goes back to the wall,
Uh-huh.
crosses it, goes to the
How
spring
can she
court.
cross it?
There's a few holes in it. So the nearest one was near her village. That's how the
Oh.
Tamlin could come in. She could go and
Damn, Nesta couldn't find it?
no, Nesta couldn't find it.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, I think it's a good thing she couldn't find it. She could have died.
Yeah, seriously.
So Feyre goes back, goes to the spring court, goes to the estate. Everything is dark. There's not a single person there. The front door is broken. There's everything in the foyer is broken. The paintings are ripped apart. The vases are. She's like, "Hello, Tamlin, Alice, is anybody there?" No one is at home. She's like, oh my God, what happened here? And then she goes to the kitchen because she hears something and Alice is there. Alice is like, why did you come back? I told you that this is not safe here. And she's like, what happened? Please tell me, like, where is Tamlin? And everybody, like, what is going on? So Alice finally tells Feyre what the hell is going on. Do you remember I told you about Highburn? When Suriel, she got the Suriel.
Yeah.
Like he tells a story about the war.
Mhm.
Okay. So the continent that they live in, there's another continent towards the west called Highburn. That continent doesn't have high lords and stuff. It just has one king called the King of Highburn.
Mhm.
He fought in the war against the humans. Like he wanted to keep the humans as his slaves. So the war was fought against fairies and humans because humans were like, we don't want to be your slaves anymore. And a lot of fairies were fighting for the humans. So it was for or against, like if we want to protect the humans or not. So Highburn, after they lost the war, the wall was erected, and the humans went back to their own world, and the fairies had to let go of all of their slaves and stuff. Highburn was the one who lost a lot because he had to let go of all his slaves, and then nobody wanted to trade with him because he was the evil one, right? But 100 years ago, like 100 years from today's time, Highburn is like, okay, I want to make amends. I want to make more trade routes between our continents. And, like, he wanted to extend a hand of friendship. So he sent over his generals and his highest courtiers to Prithian to become friends with the other High Lords to see what kind of trade deals they can make. One of those high courtier, like one of the commanders of Highburn, was Amarantha. So she came to Prithian 100 years ago, befriended all the High Lords for 50 years, and then 50 years ago, she decided she wants Prithian for herself. That she's like, I don't want to just serve under Highburn. I want to rule Prithian just like he rules Highburn.
So she was going to betray the person who sent her to Prithian in the first place?
Yeah. So
she wanted it for herself?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is the king still alive?
He's still alive.
So he's probably pissed, right?
He is really pissed. So Amarantha betrays the king of Highburn, and she's trying to rule all of Prithian. So 50 years ago, she throws a party for all the High Lords. She's like, please, come to the party. This is a friendly affair. This is, I just want to make peace with everyone. I just want to be here, and I don't want to live with Highburn anymore. So she invites everyone, and then all the High Lords are there, and everybody from the spring court. Okay, before that, Amarantha fought in the war against the humans, right? And she also had a sister called Clithia. And her sister was in love with the human general who was fighting for the human army. His name was Jurian. So
Oh.
Clithia and Jurian were in love, and Amarantha was already obviously angry about it. But then Jurian was actually just pretending to love Clithia to get information about the fairy army so he could win the war. So he betrays Clithia and kills her.
No.
Yeah. And then Amarantha is pissed. She already
hated
the humans.
Yeah.
And now one of the humans has killed her sister. So she fights Jurian one-on-one and ends him.
Oh my.
So she kills Jurian and she hates the humans.
Oh.
Right? And then she goes back to Hyban and everything. Then she comes back. She's like, I'm so sorry about whatever happened in the war. I want to make peace and all of that. And she knew Tamlin and her dad during the war. So Tamlin was not old enough to fight in the war, but she knew him. And then she was friends with Tamlin's father. And they fought in the war together because Tamlin's dad was in favor of keeping the slaves.
Oh.
Tamlin wasn't. He never thought like his father. He always wanted to, separate himself from all of that. He was not even in training to become the High Lord.
Mhm.
He just wanted to live his merry life. He wanted to play the fiddle and be a musician.
Mhm.
But because his father and his older brothers were killed by somebody else, he got the power.
Mhm.
And he always was friends with Amarantha. So Amarantha eventually fell in love with Tamlin,
Oh.
and she wanted him for herself. And
Wait, the age difference. So she was fighting with Tamlin's dad,
yeah,
and then, but she likes
Tamlin. I mean, the age doesn't really matter for these people because they mature and then they're like young in their 20s for like 500 or 1,000 years.
Oh.
So they're similarly practically the same age,
Okay.
maturity wise. Age is a
whatever. We're in fairyland.
Yeah, fine. Exactly.
Okay.
It's all.
It's not like she saw him grow up or anything. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So Amarantha, because she wants to live in Prithian, she makes her own. Like she's not going to live in anybody else's court as a guest for long, right?
Mhm.
So the way that Prithian as a continent is, I'm gonna describe it to you, but I'll also show you the map. But for our listeners, if you want to keep following, like to make sure you follow, please look up the map of Prithian online, and then it'll be easier.
Mhm.
So you see this is a piece of land that looks like a elongated Subway sandwich but like ripped apart.
Oh my god, it's basically the United Kingdom.
Yes,
it's literally the map of the UK.
Okay, so if you can imagine a map of the UK, the part that's at the southernmost is the human land, and
Okay.
then there's a demarcation line that says the wall. Everything above the wall is the fairyland.
Oh, I see.
And so it's divided into 7 parts for the 7 courts. So the first chunk of land is the spring court that's adjacent to the wall.
Mhm.
Then comes the part that is shared between summer and autumn court.
Okay.
And then above that is the winter court. So these are the four seasonal courts.
Okay.
Right?
I have something for the listeners. So summer court is basically Wales, and the rest, spring, autumn, and winter, are part of the UK.
Okay.
Or part of England.
Okay. Yeah. I have no idea what the UK's map looks like. So
that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So after winter court, there's like a piece of land that's neutral, and it's covered in mountains, but that region for them is sacred for some reason. And there's like one huge hill or like a mountain there that Amarantha decided to make her home and carve the mountain and make it into her court. So that is called Under the Mountain. So her whole court is built under a huge mountain.
Interesting.
That's why it's called Under the Mountain. That's where Rhysand came from to warn Tamlin. That's where Amarantha lives.
She just lives by herself?
Oh, no. No.
Oh, okay. She has people.
Let me get to that.
Okay.
So for you to understand what Under the Mountain is, I was telling you the geographical part of it, but the story is still left, how Amarantha became powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And then above Under the Mountain are the 3 other solar courts, the day court, Oh no, the dawn, day, and the night court. So night court is the northernmost part of Prithian.
Scotland.
So Scotland is night court?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Scotland probably makes up the dawn, day, and night,
Okay.
but the most north is night, and the most southern is dawn, and in the middle you have day.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. What's this one called?
That's Highburn.
Okay. Hiburn's basically Ireland.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's where Amarantha came from.
Okay.
Okay. So she invites everyone. So okay. So she's living in under the mountain now. She's like, oh, this will be my territory, and I want everybody to be friends. And before that, she in propositions Tamlin, like, please, stay with me, be my lover, I love you, and all of that. Instead of saying no to him directly, he sends Lucian to say no to her, and she gets angry and scratches his eye out.
Huh?
That's how he lost his eye, because Amarantha got angry, like, Tamlin is saying no to me.
Oh my god. So Tamlin couldn't reject her on his own, so he sent his boy bestie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know why he did that. So poor Lucian.
Did she scratch him because Tamlin couldn't say it himself, or that she got rejected?
Both. And Lucian did it in front of everyone, like her court, or like the people who were there. So she got upset.
Bro, why one eye? I would have taken both eyes out. In front of all those people, saying, I'm sorry, but you got rejected.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you should have just killed him flat out. Why just one eye?
Damn.
I would have. I don't know. I kind of like her now. She doesn't. Anyways.
I think you might be the only Amarantha sympathizer ever.
I do sympathize with her. She got embarrassed in front of everyone. You're like, because yeah, she comes from a higher position and everything, and she just got low key, not even low key, high key, full on rejected. By honestly, I think Tamlin was kind of like a nobody at that time too, right? Or did he already get the power?
Oh, interesting. I don't know.
Let's assume he didn't get the power,
Yeah.
So she got rejected by a loser. That fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And didn't even get rejected directly by him, by his friend, in front of everyone.
I think he was the High Lord by this time.
Oh, he was?
He was the High Lord. That's why he sent Lucian. Right.
Okay.
He was the High Lord.
If he was a big shot, I don't even want to think about it. But if he was a nobody, then that really sucks.
Yeah. I mean, any kind of rejection for Amarantha, who's very egotistical, is a slap in the face, right?
That's true.
So
I don't know. I feel for her.
I hope you change your mind soon after you learn more about
for people listening. Don't hate me, but as of now, I feel her pain. Anyways, let's move on.
So Lucian loses his eye, and then he gets a metal eye. Somebody else helps him heal, and he has a metal eye now. Okay. So the night of when she throws her party, she invites everyone, like, this is my peace offering. I want to be friends with everyone. Everybody from the spring court wears a mask. So it's a masquerade ball basically, but everybody from the spring court are wearing masks. First of all, to honor Tamlin's shape-shifting magic, because that's his power. He can shape-shift, and he can shape-shift other people as well. That's how he shape-shifted Andras into a wolf and sent him. And also they want to, help Lucian cover his scarred face. So they all go to this party.
Wait, who's all?
A lot of people from the spring court.
Oh, okay.
Everybody, like all the bigger people who Tamlin was friends with. Like there's a court and you have your courtiers, right? The influential families and stuff. Yeah. All those people, they wear masks and go to under the mountain for the party.
Okay.
So wine is served and everything. When they all drink the wine, Amarantha has actually poisoned it.
Oh.
And all the High Lords lose their powers and she captures them.
So that's why there's no one in the court.
Yes.
Damn. So Tamlin is part of which court again? The
Spring.
Spring?
He's the
Okay.
High Lord of Spring Court.
Oh, so it's empty.
It's empty. Most of the people are either gone or Amarantha has made them stay under the mountain to serve her.
Yeah.
So she is basically declared herself High Queen of Prithian, and everybody is under her.
What about the other courts?
All the courts, all the High Lords
She did
were
it for all of
invited.
them?
All of them, all the 7 High Lords and people from their court were invited to the party, and she spiked all of their drinks and took the power of the High Lords.
Oh, okay. I thought it was only Tamlin's.
Oh no! I mean, she did it also for Tamlin. It was a party for Tamlin and everybody else.
Okay.
It was a one deal for all of it, but that's when she captures their power, and then Tamlin again she asks him, like, now you have nothing else, be my partner. And then he's like, I would rather marry a human than marry you. Your sister even preferred a human than a fairy like me. I reject you again. And then she gets more angry.
Bro, she got burned. She got rejected and burned. Oh my
And
God.
she curses Tamlin. She's like,
what?
So she's like, I will wait for 49 years. If you are able to get a human to love you unconditionally, I will free all of you. I will break the curse. But if not, you are mine. And everybody else in Prithian, everybody's power is mine. I'm going to rule this continent.
Well, checkmate, bitch. He had a human fall in love with him. So now I'm thinking he sent Feyre back to the human world to protect her from this crazy bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And Feyre unknowingly did a good thing by giving the wrong name so that she's still safe.
Mm-hmm.
So he has 5 more days, or like a couple more days, to prove, right, that like, yeah, I do have a human who's in love with me.
So Alice is angry when Alice is telling Feyre all of this. She's angry at Feyre because she's like,
Wait. She told Feyre about like the curse and
yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
Oh.
Alice has to tell her now because Feyre is asking Alice, right? Where is everybody? Why? And
oh my God, I forgot that. Okay, so
Alice was narrating all of this to Feyre.
Yeah.
So Feyre is like, why didn't Tamlin tell me any of this? Feyre and Alice is like, he couldn't have because Amarantha forbade it. Because it was a part of the curse that he couldn't tell anyone. Like, the love needs to be unconditional. So when Feyre was leaving the Spring Court, when Tamlin says, I love you, if she had said, I love you back then, the curse would have broken right then and there. But Feyre didn't say it. She felt it.
Yeah.
She loves Tamlin. She feels it. But she just didn't say it.
Why?
For some reason. God knows.
Girl.
Feyre is like, I don't know if I should say it. It doesn't mean anything because he's gonna keep living and I'm gonna die soon if I'm going back forever. So, it doesn't even matter. So she doesn't say it, and Alice is like, you stupid girl, you could have broken the curse like a month ago, and you didn't. Now Tamlin is under Amarantha's curse because 49 years are over. That's why a few days before Kalanmai, the Atter was there to remind him that your time is up. She's waiting for you. That's why Rhysand was there the day after summer solstice to remind him that, TikTok, you need to do something. Rhysand was like, are you even doing anything? Everybody else is living under the mountain suffering, and you are allowed to live on your estate. You're still not doing anything. You had 49 fucking years to do something about it.
What could he have done though? Just
get a human to fall in love with him.
Oh.
I mean, he tried. Tamlin tried.
How?
By sending Andras over the wall. So the part of the curse was if a human commits a hateful crime, like out of spite from their heart against a fairy, then if you can make them love you like a fairy unconditionally, then the curse is broken. So the first step was to get a human to kill a fairy. That's why Andras was sent over the wall, and then Feyre killed him unknowingly. She didn't have hate in her heart, but like it was survival instinct. So she killed Andras, a fairy, unknowingly. That was first part. The second part was for her to unconditionally fall in love with Tamlin. She did, but she didn't say it. So the time is over now, and
Oh, the time's over?
Time is over. 49 years are done.
I thought he had like 5 more days or something.
No. So she went back to the human land for a month, right? So the 5 days are over.
Why did he send her back?
Because he got scared. Like, I love her and she's gonna die if I keep her here, because clearly she doesn't love me. She didn't say it.
Oh my god.
He didn't know she loved him.
I feel for Feyre too. Probably because I've been there, done that. It's like you're scared to say I love you sometimes, especially when you don't know how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're scared to say it. You don't want to say it because you're like, is it really love? Is it something else? Like, I'm not really sure what it is. You guys are getting a little insight into my life.
That's exactly how Feyre felt.
Yeah, like you just don't know if that's what it is because you've never experienced it before. So she probably got psyched out, and she's like, why would a fairy
lord
like me? I'm just a human.
I'm nobody.
Like, why do I have to offer him? You know, like, what is this? You know, do I even really love him? Like, yeah. So I feel for her, but damn, she could have just said it. Even if she said, I love you, but
that could have also helped.
But I don't know. At least she would have said the words. It would have been true to how she was feeling, but she could have been like, I love you too, but, you know, I'm scared. Or like, you know, I'm just a little terrified right now to say it, but I do love you. Yeah. If she just said that, then we wouldn't be in this situation, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I feel for her. I feel bad. Like, because I feel now she feels guilty too. Like,
she feels like she's the one who's responsible for everything. If she's only said it, everybody would have been free. Their misery would have been over.
Yeah, she's probably like, damn, my stupid feelings. Like, oh, not her feelings. Her feelings were right. It was her head.
Yeah.
Being like, you know, no, it's too soon. You shouldn't say it. Like, you barely know this. No, she should just said it. But I guess that was the whole point of the curse, right?
Yeah.
It's a very clever curse because, yeah. Interesting. Poor guy. Okay. Yeah. Now what happens?
So now Feyre is like, tell me how to reach under the mountain. I'm going to go save Tamlin. And Alice is like, you are a stupid, weak human being. You are going to die. Please go back home. There's nothing you can do anymore. She's like, no, I love him and he loves me. And it's all because of me that this is happening. I have to undo it. So she convinces Alice to take her under the mountain. And I feel like this is a good stopping point for us to take a breather and, you know, digest what is happening, what Amarantha has done, and to anticipate what Feyre is going to do now to save Tamlin.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just leave it to the next
episode.
Oh my god, I can't. I need to know what happens. I'm scared for her. She has no protection. And Tamlin doesn't even know that she's going to like show up too. So he's gonna be like, the fuck? I sent you. I was ready to die for you, bitch. Why are you here?
Exactly.
I really want Nesta to somehow pop up into this and be like, I'm here, sis. I got you, boo. I'm here to help. But yeah, that'd be cute. I wonder what happens. I think Reese is he's going to be a little bitch too. I feel like he's the kind of person to be like, the time is up. Yeah. You know, there's no way out of this. Like, you thought, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. If this episode piqued your interest and you want to pick up the book and meet us where we left off, we ended this episode at around chapter 32. See you in the next episode.